Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will be covering the comments and more methods to print content in the console. So let's get into it. In the previous video, we discussed about the write host, write output and echo, and carry on from there. We have the same for the same method, that is write, which is also alias of write output. So we can use this one as well. And we have others like write debug, write error. So if I do write error, like we can use that in the terminal itself. So if I write error and then hello world, it is going to throw in error, but this is the custom error thrown by the write error method. So we can like throw customized error and display some errors based on the conditions that are matched. And then we have write debug. So if I do write debug, and this is used to display the debug messages. They are like warnings. So if I do, like, we have another for write warning. These are used to display the warning messages and the debug information. If I copy these to the terminal, you see they are displaying the warning messages. And if I do the same for the debug, as you can see, it displays, this is the debug message and displays the hello world. The debug will not work by default. You need to by default the debug preference is set to continue, silent continue. So we need to set this to continue. What I will discuss this later on, like what I mean by that, silent continue or continue. Like if I, let's try it. So if I remove these, just leave only the debug and save this, and here we saw that it does works, right? So if I open another in this session, I set the debug preference to continue. So but if I open up another terminal and execute the script, the execution policy error, PowerShell.exe, and execution policy is by false, and the file is hello.ps1. Execution policy. So as you can see, it did not print anything because we need to set the debug preference to continue. So if I assign a value to that variable, that is debug preference right here, and set this to continue, and if I save this, come here again and execute the same script again, as you can see, it displays the debug message. So by default, the value of the debug preference is silent. So if I come here, come to the PowerShell directory, and if I print write host the debug preference value, as you can see, it is silently continue. So the debug messages are not displayed by default. So you need to set the value of the debug preference to continue, and this will display the debug messages. Another point here is the we saw the warning. So if I type warning and save this, we can remove the debug preference. As you can see, it displays the warning message, and then we can use the write host to customize those things for ourselves as well. Like if I just write host this, as you can see, it displays just a normal message, right? So let's say I want the color to be red, we can customize that for ourselves. Like we have the foreground color, let's say this is the cyan color, and if I execute it again, as you can see, the color is now cyan. Now we have the same for background. So if I do background as black, and if I save this and come back here, it's automated by default, it is black. So let's set that to white. Save this, come back again. As you can see, the color is now white. The background color is white, and the foreground color is cyan. So now we have comments. So this is called the single line comments, and let's write it. So single line comments, and then we have multi-line comments, like this single and then hash and then this, and this is called multi-line comment. So we have two types of comments. Comments are pretty useful when describing the script. except like you created some functions, you need to write descriptions in order to understand it by yourself in the future, as well as if you are writing script for other people, so that you need to add comments so that everyone can understand like what is going on in the script itself. So we have the same thing. As you can see, the comments are ignored by default in every programming language. The comments are ignored by the compiler and the interpreter or whatever the language is using. So that is write host and write debug. We explore about this. Write debug and make sure to on the debug preference variable to continue. And then we have write warning. Then we have write error, and then as you can see here we have another write verbose. So there are a couple of others, but most of them are pretty much the same as these will be used most of the time while writing scripts and automating something and creating custom scripts and those things. So we will be using these methods later on in this series while creating custom scripts. Yeah, so that is it, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.